Karen, there's a debate over the shoes. Do they match from the picture to what John was wearing?
Just look at the evidence, look at the pictures. I didn't collect them. I've seen that though.
Karen, did you see John go in the house?
I did.
You saw him go in the house?
I saw John go in the house.
Can you describe him going into the house? Which door and how and when?
No, I have though, and I'm sure the prosecution will play it.
Do you think Proctor will testify, Karen?
I don't believe so, but you've seen this afternoon how much evidence has not been shown to this jury. And we've had to work really hard, Alan's had to work really hard to organize it so that they can be presented with the actual evidence in this case.
Did you delete the ring video?
I wouldn't know how, and I would have no access, and that'll come out on
What do you make of the
testify,
difficulty in
Karen?
getting Proctor's name in it?
I'm sure you know why we've had difficulty getting his name out there. Thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You had just asked questions about some of the video footage from the Canton Police Department Sallyport area. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask you further questions about that. In your investigation, did you obtain camera footage from a number of different angles from the Canton Police Department Sallyport area?
I did.
And one of those series of footages, did that include the interior Sallyport back wall for January 29, 2022?
Yes, it is.
Is that the video that appears inverted, and then we saw the second where it was present as you would see it?
Yes, sir.
Did you invert the video in any way?
No, I did not.
Did you investigate and learn whether or not there was any other video in addition to that interior Sallyport back wall where video was set up by the town of Canton that appears inverted rather than forward?
Objection. I'll allow it.
Yes, the investigation revealed that multiple cameras had a lens applied to it that was inverted.
In addition to the Canton Police Department Sallyport interior back wall, where else did you learn around town there was video that appears inverted?
I believe it is inside the Canton PD, the hallways, possibly. And if I am not mistaken, the other locations within the town of Canton. And
Ask the question. No. Is that your answer? Is that your final answer?
I wasn't finished, but yes.
Jurors, I'm going to strike the portion of the answer that follows hallways of the Canton PD.
And sir, when you obtained the video from the interior Sallyport back wall, which was inverted, did you provide a copy of it?
Yes, I did.
When you looked at that video, does it have time and date stamps on it?
Yes, it does.
Can I approach?
Yes.
I'd like to introduce a copy of that. When you provided the video for January 29, 2022, for that inverted video, did you do any further investigation to see if it was an anomaly that happened just on that date, or whether that was historically the way the video appeared?
I'll look into that matter, produced the fact that it's been recording that way previously to January 29th.
Why did you want to historically go back and see if it was historically the same way?
To show that it had not been manipulated or altered in any way.
As part of the investigation, was there video taken from January 1st, 2022?
Yes.
And is that before January 29, 2022?
Yes, it is.
So at the time those items were first found at Fairview Road, where were you and Michael Proctor?
At Canton Police Department.
Are you familiar with the name Nick Gianturco?
Who?
Guarino. Sorry.
Yes, I am.
He's called Garino. He misnamed Garino and called him. Okay, now I gotta know who Gianturco is. Did he just slip? Was that a Freudian slip? Is there somebody named Gianturco that we've never heard of? Is anybody else screaming at the screen? Yeah, we are. We all are. Gianturco, listen.
Are you familiar with the name Nick Gianturco?
Gianturco. Write it down, folks. Could be a clue.
Reno. Sorry,
Like Blue's
Yes,
Clues.
I am.
Here's his big moment.
the defendant.
So folks, again, this is being offered not for the truth of the statement, but simply to show that the information was provided.
I mean, it's so crazy because everyone
Yes,
else
Mr.
who took statements from Jennifer McCabe wrote everything down wrong. But in the statement that they took from Nuttall, which wasn't recorded or signed, was probably typed up something like 500 days later. She's telling the jury not to believe that this is actually true, that he heard this, but just that this is what he told Yuri, okay? Do you see the difference there? The jury might not, okay?
Nuttall was one of 3, I believe.
So talk about Mr. Nuttall, please.
Mr. Nuttall told me that the defendant stated, I hit him.
Was that information different than the statements that you were first learned about that she had allegedly made earlier that night?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, nothing is beyond the scope. Nope. 10 days later.
Interview firefighter Daniel Whitley.
Well, here it is,
February
Susie Q. Nicholas Gianturco was an FBI agent in the Whitey Bulger trial. Well, that makes sense. I was going to Google it, Susie Q, but thank you for doing that because apparently Brennan can't get him out of his mind. Because, yeah, this is kind of like organized crime, too, in a way, right? This trial has sort of shades of organized crime, perhaps. Maybe it's mob-like in its nature. Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you, Suzuki. I knew there was a backstory to that. FBI is laughing, says Texas Mom PJ. This is insane.
You were just asked about Brian Higgins in your interview with Brian Higgins. Where did that
Not
take
offer
place?
for the truth.
In Sharon at a
Because it's hearsay.
attorney's office.
But
At his
again,
lawyer's house.
according to Jennifer McCabe, all of these witness statements are inaccurate because that's not what she said. So all of a sudden, Proctor authored some accurate statements. Oh, let's give him some gloves. Let's see how many pieces are in there this time. He's going to just show us all the evidence that Proctor allegedly collected by himself with no one else there. And you know who never found any taillight on the lawn at 34 Fairview? All the people who lived in that house. The Alberts have 5 kids, 2 parents, 7 people lived in that house. They walked outside every single day. They never found one piece of red taillight, but 47 pieces were found coincidentally by people employed by Massachusetts State Police and Canton PD, including Berkowitz, who was on medical leave at the time with Coke bottle glasses in the rain. From his car, he just happened to see a big giant piece.
7-13.
I mean, it's the biggest taillight in history. Yeah. And it was broken by a human arm that had no bruises
Small,
on
clear piece of
No
plastic
fractures.
labeled.
it. Hey, with my ears over here. Hey, with your papers by the mic. Get the papers away from the mic.
Starting 7/14.
Here we go. The grab bag of evidence, everyone. You never know what's going to be in there. Oh,
Appears to be a variety of wax, stamp
oh, this is new.
bags, as well as plastic containers.
I mean, why didn't he put these on
Small pieces of
indirect? Yes, let's get back to the sneaker, shall we?
Yes, February 11th.
If you could open that and show the jury.
Yes, sir.
Sneaker time, Nike Gate. Here we go. Oh, wait a second. Wait till you see the size of this piece of taillight. What's this date, you guys? I'm getting distracted by the stupidity. This is the 12th. So. Wow, look at the size of that piece
This
of
item is
taillight.
labeled with the same limbs number, 715.
Come to your screen and look at how giant this piece of taillight is. It's huge. huge. It's like a dinner plate. Nobody found this up until February 12th.
And the letter A.
Strains credulity. Yes, I think that was the piece that Proctor found the day
This
after
is,
Yuri found them.
canister.
Very well. You can rebag that.
Very well. No big whoop. A bunch of little fragments in there that were thrown onto the clothing, and then we scraped them, and who cares?
Please.
Taillight fairy dust. Yep. Right, they didn't come in direct. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for paying attention. He's got his scissors at the ready. Ed Wallace, yeah, indeed. He picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. Ed Wallace did today.
Yes, sir.
That's the only way you could believe this, if you were huffing. Oh, more. Oh my God. Look at the size of this, would you? This is found on the 18th.
This one's labeled B.
I mean, that's like the size of like half a Frisbee. I don't even, it's like a quarter of the exterior of a.
Here we have
Oh, look at that
3 red taillight pieces taped together.
Oh, 3 taped together, okay.
Appears to be mechanically fitting.
Appears
Labeled
to be mechanically fitting.
A, C,
It's like
and
Tennessee.
D.
Ain't no place I'd rather be.
Labeled items.
No.
Do you know where those labels and the taping come from?
I believe that's from the crime lab. They identify each
Magically appeared.
item according to their
I can't do this anymore. I just
protocols to help them facilitate their portion of the investigation.
Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest taillight in history. Yeah. And it was broken by a human arm that had no bruises
Small,
on
clear
it.
piece of
No
plastic
fractures.
labeled E as in echo.
Mm-hmm.
Small piece of clear plastic labeled G as in golf.
He is in golf. He's a golfer. Mm-hmm. We have the capability, so let's play that at real slow speed, and let's see if we can see Karen's taillight cruising by on the back of a tow truck, and if we can see whether that taillight is broken, because that's what we do here. We're gonna play it real slow at quarter speed. Everyone, get your eagle eyes out. Can't see anything, huh? Doesn't look like it's busted out to me. Does it look like it's busted out to you? Yeah, no, it doesn't. Although there could be a ghostly apparition of a blur spot on that taillight. This is a circus. It's a circus. I can't wait for Colleen Crawford to take the stand. She's their video person.
Common sense will dictate that if a item is found on the grass and there's snow covering it, that it would have to have been placed prior to the snow accumulating. If
Common sense would tell you that. All of a sudden, common sense has entered the investigation. Could you imagine? Wow, just wow. Common sense. I mean, you can't make this up. You can't. Common sense would say, hey, you find a dead cop on another cop's lawn. Maybe you get a search warrant to see if anybody else in the house is dead. But no, common sense.
The amount of snow that was on the ground at about 12:32:09, 12:32.
I know.
12.
Enough to track a cat. Hold on. The time is going to be important here because this is the time he's going to allege that John O'Keefe was murdered by the Lexus after he was bitten by the Lexus. 12:31. Hold on.
At about 12:32:09,
Wait,
2020.
The timeline has drifted to 12:32:09.
yes, based on my investigation and review of video from surveillance footage, it appears to be very little to a coating of snow in some areas.
Enough to track a cat. What? 12:32:09 to 12:32:12. That's exactly the time that they're going to say John O'Keefe died, I believe.
And that
Oh wait, so
information.
you read him the riot act instead of asking for his physical phone. You read him the riot act and you said, Higgy, if you're not telling the truth, you better know that I got John's phone and I got Karen's phone. So if you're not giving me the right text messages, you're going to be in really big trouble. And you too might lose 5 days of vacation pay when this is all over as the ATF agent that you are. So shame on you, Higgy, if you're not being honest with me now, because I'm going to catch you. I'm going to catch you, I will. You and your little dog too, Chloe. But now her name is Cora because she's in witness protection maybe.
And we'll eventually get into both the defendant's phone and Mr. O'Keefe's phone.
You may or may not look for nudes.
That protect his integrity as a law enforcement official. I told him that the information he was providing better be true and accurate, or else he would suffer the consequences of the ulterior.
What consequences?
In Sharon at an attorney's office.
Oh.
At his lawyer's house.
Lawyer's house in Sharon?
I'm not sure if he resides there, but it was an office.
With his lawyer present, correct?
Yes.
Did you find that unusual?
Objection.
This is new. We didn't know Higgins was, we knew he was interviewed somewhere in Sharon at the last trial, but it was never brought out that it was his lawyer's office, right? Didn't some people speculate that it may have been rehab or some other medical facility? But now we know he was interviewed at his lawyer's office on February 3rd. Wow, he lawyered up but quick for a guy who had nothing to hide, didn't he? Wow, okay. Could have been a home office, could have been a house that he also lives in that is also his lawyer's office. But here you go. Here it is. It's coming in this time.
Higgins, your interview with Brian Higgins, where did that take place?
In Sharon at an attorney's office.
At his lawyer's house, correct?
I'm not sure if he resides there, but it was an office.
With his lawyer present, correct?
Yes.
Did you find that unusual?
Objection.
He wasn't under arrest, correct?
No.
Hadn't read him his rights.
No need to know.
No need to, because he wasn't in custody, correct?
Correct.
He was just a witness in a case that you're investigating.
Right.
That's correct.
But he asked that you interview him in his lawyer's presence, correct?
Yes.
You were asked about any evidence of Brian Higgins having a motive to murder John O'Keefe just a few minutes ago by Mr. Breeenan, right?
Yes.
And you said, no, I didn't find a motive that Brian Higgins would want to murder John O'Keefe. Is that right?
That's right.
What about a motive to confront him? About a girl he was interested in. Did you see that?
I believe the text messages speak for themselves.
You saw-
Everybody heard me read them out loud.
What about the waterfall video that you already had in your possession, you doofus?
Yep, the text messages do, but I'm asking you. You were just asked about your opinion, whether or not there was a motive that you found for Brian Higgins to want to murder John O'Keefe. I'm asking you a different question. Did you, in your mind, in your opinion, after having read those texts, find a motive for Brian Higgins to perhaps want to confront John O'Keefe because of jealousy?
If you're asking for my opinion is that he would need to confront Mr. O'Keefe. Mr. O'Keefe was not the one pursuing Mr. Higgins. It was your client that was pursuing Mr. Higgins.
Okay, so, well, text messages, 100% speak for themselves. You'll agree that so there was a mutual interest, right? It just wasn't one-sided.
At times there was flattering text messages from both sides, but your client reached out to him first.
Right? Someone's got to reach out, right? Everybody's got to reach out to somebody. first. Someone's got to do it first, right?
Well, it depends.
It doesn't mean that there's not mutual affection for one another. Is that right? Or at least perceived mutual affection.
He thought she was hot from jump, remember? From
I
the
don't understand
jump.
the question.
Did you see in those text messages in your mind a motive that might lead to jealousy on the part of Brian Higgins?
No, I think Brian Higgins was pretty clear in his request for explanation of what the defendant wanted out of this, and stated that he's friends with Mr. O'Keefe. So he wanted clarity from the defendant about what was going on.
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
I didn't read it to be that he was jealous as I sit here thinking back on the content.
What about after drinking Jameson and ginger all night long and sending a text that said, well?
Yeah.
Might that change things?
I don't know what Mr. Higgins' state of mind was. Well, could mean many different things. They could have had a face-to-face interaction, a look. We'd be strictly speculating what was intended by that, or what was the intent of communication by that text message.
But you didn't even consider him a suspect ever.
In a romantic manner, and then seeing her walk in the door with John O'Keefe and sending the text message, well, after having been intoxicated. You see that, detective, as an investigator, as a reasonable, objective investigator, as a possible scenario for Brian Higgins to be jealous about John O'Keefe.
There's a possibility there, but I didn't see it.
Did you explore that possibility?
I didn't see it.
When you got all these texts,
Is your game as bad as Higgy's? Come on, man.
We did not follow up on that aspect based on the totality of the entire investigation.
did you pull the tape at the waterfall and review the tape as we did here in court?
Did that happen? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see on the tape a time just before Brian Higgins left the location where he was confronted by Chris Albert?
Change the wording.
Sure. Did you see a circumstance, did you see a situation on that tape where Brian Higgins is standing and Chris Albert physically puts his hand on Brian Higgins' arm, on his left arm?
I don't have a specific memory of that.
Do you remember a circumstance on that tape where Brian Higgins pulled his arm away and looked past Chris Albert over toward the bar, which is where John O'Keefe was standing? See that?
I do remember you pointing that out, but we couldn't tell him who exactly he was looking at based on the video.
Did you see a circumstance in which Brian Higgins then put his hand on his forehead and began rubbing his forehead like this?
I don't have a memory of that.
Did you see a circumstance in which he then motioned over toward that side of the bar with his left hand?
That I remember, yes.
Did that seem realistic to you? Let me ask it a different way. Did that seem to you as a reasonable interpretation? Hey, come on outside.
Mm-hmm. It was like this.
Come here.
Come on.
Very reasonable since they've been invited to 34 Fairview.
Did it look, in your opinion, that was just a hey, let's go together, or did it look more to you like, hey, come outside, or let's step outside?
The totality of the investigation, the fact that when they stepped outside there was no confrontation and they were invited to the address. Again, totality of the investigation suggests otherwise.
Yeah, how about you come in here at 12:20?
First to arrive at 34 Fairview, even before Brian Albert.
He was laying in wait. He was laying in
I am, yes.
And you're also aware that John O'Keefe and Karen Reed were among the last to arrive. So they didn't step outside together.
Right.
They didn't step outside, but once he was invited, according to your narrative, wouldn't they have a discussion outside where he was invited to come out?
So, Mr. Jackson, I just want to ask you, how much longer?
Not long.
How much longer do you think you're gonna be? It's like 4:20. I gotta go. I got a place I gotta go.
Jurors are saying yes. Is it okay with all the jurors? We usually bring finish with this witness
The jurors are like, yeah, get him the hell out of here and don't let Brennan redirect anything.
You're aware that, according to the tape, John O'Keefe left about 10 minutes after Brian Higgins, or so.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. You would agree, as a homicide investigator, not every death starts off as an intended murder, correct?
Right.
I will agree to that.
Sometimes a fight could go wrong, and you intend to fight and duke it out. Something goes wrong, something goes south, someone dies, right?
Objection.
What's objectionable about that? Beyond the scope? The whole investigation is the scope, Your Honor.
You did not realize that Trooper Breeenan had information that John O'Keefe took 36 steps covering a distance of some 84 feet that would have placed Mr. O'Keefe inside the residence at 12:32:16.
Objection.
Bam.
Did you have any information from Trooper Breeenan about steps that were logged on Mr. O'Keefe's phone?
No, I did not.
Wasn't important.
Is that it, Mr. Jackson?
Don't rush him.
May I have just a moment?
Yes.
I'm trying to wrap this up. I only have a couple more things, but I may be able to finish it with one question.
They start at 10 today, exactly.
As you sit here now, are you aware of whether or not there's evidence that John O'Keefe, the phone describes John O'Keefe's phone taking 36 steps, covering a distance of about 84 feet at 12:32:16 on the morning of January 29th, 2022?
Objection.
Anywhere to that? Anywhere to that?
I am not, Your Honor.
He's not aware of it.
The answer was
No, I'm not aware of that.
All right.
Oh, she's done, so everyone else has to be done.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
So Brennan doesn't get the last word like he usually does. On his second redirect, he didn't even find out from Garino that at 12:32:36, John's phone logged 36 steps, which would have been 84 feet, which would have put him inside the house, because that was not important to his investigation. Nope, not at all. Because, you know, common sense, bang, bang. Is our collective common sense beyond the scope? Says I'm more of a lessee? Apparently, the world is watching, and what did you see today? Big, giant mess, in my opinion.